Welcome to iZak. My name is Amos. I will walk you through the demonstration of iZak and its wonderful tools. iZak is not one single tool. It's not about estimating. It's not about charge out rate. It's about all the tools you need to manage your contracting business. That's why we call iZak Business Manager. I will walk you through all these tools and explain them to you. But before I do that, I want to only say one thing. iZak is more than a combination of tools. It's an educational tool. It will help the young contractor, the small contractor, and the middle contractor in many ways. If you see on the right side here, where it says online videos, each one of these tools, each one of these areas has videos attached to it that will instruct you, teach you, and help you walk through or work through each one of these tools. The tools are made in a way that is easy to understand, easy to work with, and simple to follow. In addition to that, there are PDF instructions everywhere you go in iZak. You can print them or you can read them online. And finally, there are in-program instructions everywhere you go. If you click wherever you are, anywhere in the tools, if you click on the in-program instructions, what you'll get are questions. If you click on the questions, if you're not sure what that button will do, click on the question and on the question mark, and it'll give you the instructions of what it does. Or it'll give you the explanation of what each one of these tools will do. Okay, so without further ado, we'll move on to the demonstration of each one of these areas. Okay, we're ready to go to the first tool. First tool is the charge out rate. Charge out rate is the foundation to all your estimating. If the charge out rate is not correct, then your estimating will not be correct either. All right, before we go into charge out rate, before we go any deeper into charge out rate, there's one thing I want to add in here. The charge out rate is to be based on your own productivity, not on the competition prices, not on the market prices. Nobody else is to set your prices. You need to set your own prices. You need to understand the value of your company and its services and products and set your own prices based on actual calculations. And that's what iZak will do. So we are at the home page of charge out rate. You've got dashboard, you've got wage calculation, additional expenses, field vehicles, and all of these are costs that go into creating a charge out rate. From the creating charge out rate, we've got, of course, three components. We've got one, which is estimating charge out rate. That's a price that you would use to estimate your work before markups. You've got service charge out rate if you're in the service industry or if you're providing service after hours for your work or service within hours for your work. Then, of course, it's a calculation that includes all of your markups. And then, of course, we've got overtime charge out rate. Well, that speaks for itself. The one other area, it's proactive saving, and I will explain that as we get there. It is, again, it's one of the great tools that iZak will provide you. So let's go to dashboard first. That's easy. I'm not going to spend a lot of time because this is a demonstration only. If you want to know more about iZak charge out rate and understand how it works, then of course you will go to the videos for the charge out rate. Dashboard is easy. Just enter the company's information name. We then move to wage calculation, enter your crew's name and all the information that's required in here. Get more details from the charge out rate video. It'll walk you right through it, step by step. Again, additional expenses, same thing. Enter the information as per the video. Field vehicles as well, same thing. Build your fleet in here. Enter your fleet and its costs, and iZak will do the rest. All right, once you've done all that, then of course we've got the charge out rate. And you can see a red button in here that says send CO. CO stands for charge out rate to estimate. Well, charge out rate is connected to estimating because the estimating is dependent on charge out rate. So hence it would make sense to send that information to the estimate. Again, you can get all the details you need from the video. Now the next thing is all of that information, like the charge out rate, the breakdown in here, you can get them by clicking on each one of these areas. It'll take you to the same table, but if you can see on top in here, it tells you which of these tables are related to the buttons you just pressed. Now the last thing is the proactive saving. It gives you a clear picture of on the savings that you have accumulated for the year annually, as it says in here, or the hourly accumulation on every hour that you are working in the field. You or your crew works in the field. And at the end of the year, you can see how much you have saved towards small tools, towards warranty, towards new vehicles. So that's charge out rate. All right, we're ready to move on to the next one. We're now in estimating section of iZak. As I said before, estimating is just one tool within iZak combination of tools. I'm going to walk you through the home page and all its components in here and explain them briefly to you. Again, once you work on iZak, at any time, anywhere in these areas, you can go into instructions and either go through the videos, the PDF instructions, or the on-screen questions. All right. So without any further ado, let's talk about this. Okay. So at any time, you can go back to charge out rate to check whatever information you've got in there. But remember that whenever you work in charge out rate and you update it, that information, once you press the button that says send to estimating, it automatically goes into estimating and it's updated in here. So you don't have to do anything in here for charge out rates. Now, dashboard, easy. This is where you start by entering the information on your company and the client's information as well. Page verification, there's a long history of why we call it page verification, but this is not the time to explain it to you. That'll be in the details once you start looking through the other videos. But page verification is the heart of the estimating program, and I will walk you through it briefly and show you. Subtrades is where you build the subtrades information and enter their prices and quotation on each project. And again, the same thing in here. Same thing with rental equipment, permit, soft costs, and travel. Soft costs is one of the areas that most contractors make a mistake. They forget soft costs. These are the items that will kill you. These are the items that will cost you money in the job if you don't remember them. iZak is built so you cannot forget them. It's almost impossible to forget soft costs by using iZak. Once you've created an estimate, of course, you're working through the summary sheet and you can send the information to a proposal. It will create your proposal and a quotation for you. Once it becomes a contract, then, of course, you can create your contract document here. From there, it goes into project. And for project, of course, you can send that information to job costing and accounting. And if you're using QuickBooks or any accounting that integrates, that speaks to iZak, then all that information is available to you in iZak from your accounting on demand. So you can see your job costs on iZak when it happens, not having to wait for your accountant to provide you with detailed information. All that information is available to you here. And it'll also allow you to compare with the estimate. All right, first thing is dashboard. Like I said, enter the information for you your company. You only have to enter it once. The rest of it is information and goes to the project, the clients, the client, from the estimate number and the project information. As I said before, page verification is the heart of the estimate. And you can see it's broken down into the 16 divisions of contracting. Each one of these has information built with it. I'm not going to go into details in here because this is where you get this information is available to you in the videos for that section for estimating, or the instructions for that section. But remember I said about the button before. Anytime you want to look at the screen for information, then you just have to press this button and it gives you the information of what you need to do. Okay? It gives you the information of what that button does. All right, so if we look, for example, let's take a look at concrete. It opens up, and then, of course, you see more details. If I go any further, if I want to look at concrete reinforcement, I go further. It gives me more information, including labor units. All your labor units are built in, or available labor units are built in already into iZak. All you've got to do is enter your pricing, and pricing is not entered into iZak because it varies from jurisdiction to jurisdiction. Again, this is just a demonstration, not to go into details. Once I click on concrete again, it closes that information off. All right. The next area is subtrades, and again, you can build your subtrades in here. And you can select the lower bid. It'll automatically select the lower bid, or you can do it manually, or you can just select the bid you want to select. iZak is intuitive, but it also needs management from you. All right. The next area is rental and equipment, anything you need to add to the project, permit, sub cost. And I just want to take you to the summary page. And summary page, of course, we've got all the variables that are recommended that you should be adding to each one of the components, like the labor, like material, like supervision. Again, this is a demonstration. Only the details are in the estimating video. You can create a PDF from the summary to put in a file, or to provide with your supervisor or with staff in the office, or you can just leave it in the computer. Again, as I said before, nothing can be missed, and you can see anything on the blue in here is a link that forces you to go in to cover the permit, the soft cost, travel, and rental, so you cannot forget anything. You can enter it from here. You can enter it from the page verification. All right. So the last item is, like I said, you can create your own proposal. This is a demo. It's a demonstration proposal. Of course, you can alter it. You can change it. You can rewrite it. You can add your exclusions, inclusions, payment schedule. But it's a good demonstration of how to work with it. All right. And then the contract, you can you create your own contract document with a client, or you can create your own contract document with a subtrade. All right, and the last thing is, once you've got the contract, it becomes a project. Once you have submitted your proposal, and it becomes a contract, and if you got a signed contract, then of course you want to convert it into a project. Once you've done that, you've pressed on the project, it'll ask you a series of questions about the project, whether you want to convert it to a project, and just follow the instructions. Again, all that information is available for you in the estimating video. Just to give you a brief example, if I press on project and I select a project in here, for example, an existing project, once you clicked on the project button, what it does, it opens up a whole series of buttons that you may need, for example, purchase orders for your subtrades or suppliers, job costing for your bookkeeper, all that information. The job costing information will be provided for your bookkeeper to open up a job costing file. Projective job costing, we're going to talk about that more in detail as we progress in the area, in the demo. And then, of course, change orders and delay claims. So that's it for the estimating section. But you can see, once you are finished with estimating and create a project, what it converted from estimating to project control. It is not difficult. If you're looking at it and you may feel a little overwhelmed by these buttons, it isn't. It's really not that difficult. Once you enter these areas, you will find it is simple to follow, easy to use. It will make you money. It will save you grief, and it will save you a lot of money along the way as well. Okay, the next one I want to talk about is bidding strategies. All right, bidding strategies is it is a creation that's unavailable anywhere else. Only in iZak can you find that creation. It's a tool that is so invaluable. In my case, when I was a contractor, when I was contracting, it allowed me to anticipate the competition prices, understand what their pricing will be, and be able to select the jobs I wanted with a very small margin left on the table. That was the aim of the game, to not leave money on the table if you can help it. And this tool is the tool that will help you do that. Now, this is simple. You just set your values. And again, the video for the 4 bidding strategies will walk you through it. Dashboard, your own company, the competition information, and then, of course, you can select whether the project is commercial or industrial, institutional, like hospitals or medical centers or dental clinics, and, of course, residential or multi-residential. It leads you to a summary that shows you all of that information in one place. And, of course, it gives you a prediction graphic or a prediction graph on your competition, so you can see what it is that they're going to bid. You can anticipate what they're going to bid. All right. So having said it again, as I said before, bidding strategies is the tool that you should be using for estimating against your competition. It is an anticipating tool. It is a proactive tool. It is a tool that will save you a lot of time in estimating and bidding. It is not about crunching numbers and bidding as many projects as I can so I can get one. It's about getting as many projects as I can out of the bidding that I get, out of the bidding that I submit. For example, if you have to bid 20 to get one, 20 projects to get one, this tool will increase that number. Rather than doing 20 to get one, I would prefer to bid 10 and get 7. That was my average. That is your average or your available average if you use these tools. Okay, we're now in change orders homepage. Again, everything starts with a dashboard, and you always see this telling you to start here. It's quite easy. And again, just to remind you, once you're working on it, the online videos are available to you in each one of these components. So once you start working on it, what I suggest is the first thing you do is open up the online videos. Okay, so if you open up the change order videos, you can see that change order videos is broken into each area: the overview, the dashboard, the material, the labor adjustment, subtrades, and so on and so on and so on. It just goes on and on. And each video is very small, so not to inundate you with a lot of information up front. So it's easy. So to continue, the dashboard is simple. Fill in the information as we stated before in previous cases. But remember, change orders are critical on your profitability. If you don't pay attention to the change orders, if you don't pay attention to the actual work on the job site, you will find that all the profit that you anticipated originally in a project is going to erode. That's why change orders was built. This table, this tool was built to make sure that you price your change orders accordingly, price them attentively, and price them accurately, so you can not only enhance your profit or secure your profitability on the original estimate, but also enhance your profitability. So we got the dashboard, we've got material. You can enter the material manually in here: labor, material, prices. Again, all that information is in the instruction. Now, we've got one tool in here that is really the most excellent tool available in change orders, and a tool that most contractors don't pay attention to, or an area that most contractors don't pay attention to because of lack of knowledge. And that one particular tool can make the change order profitable or a losing proposition. So let's see what it says, what it does. So you see, each one of these: stacking of labor, morale and attitude, reassignment of manpower, each one of them is what we call a weight factor. So whatever labor you're allowed for, the basic labor for change order, you have to really look deep into a change order or the change itself on site and see what the site condition will be. Do you have to increase your crew? Are you going to be using a supervisor from another project on this project? Or will that supervisor will have to dilute his time? Again, all of these make a difference, and these percentages are the weight factors that affect the actual estimate. We have subtrades that speaks for itself, and then of course the summary. And again, the summary has all the what we call the calculators, the variables that are required for a change order. It's not just about labor, material, taxes, and profit, and here you go. A change order is quite intricate, and you have to cover all of that because there are some things that are hidden costs, like safety, like disposal, like supervision, and like estimating costs. I mean, estimating a change order, the time that it takes to estimate the change order. This is not time that you've allowed for in your estimate. Again, all of that will be more explanatory in the video, the change order video. All right. And then there's one other tool the change order has. Actually, let's go back to the summary again and scroll to the bottom. And you'll note that it has delay claim, overtime, or neither. If a change order extends your project, then of course we need to go into time extension calculator. If it extends your work after hours, then again you've got to go into time extension calculator and calculate the overtime. And all of that information, once the change order has been approved, you go into this button, and here it says job costing. That information goes into your accounting, and it's added to the job costing portion of your project. Again, Job costing is the foundation of proper estimating. Without proper job costing, you cannot estimate. Without proper estimating, you cannot do proper job costing. The two of them are integrated. They are mandatory that they go hand in hand. Without proper job costing, you are not estimating, you are guesstimating. No, at no time does your estimate reflect the actual productivity of your own crew. The next stage is subtrade control. Okay, we're into subtrade control. One of the areas that general contractors, if you are a general contractor, you will resonate with what I have to say. I was a general contractor, and one of the areas that really drove me batty were subtrades, overbilling, underbilling, uh, front loading their bills to start with the beginning of the project. I created this tool to make sure that this does not happen, that I can manage my subcontractors and not allow them to overbill or front load the project. So I always have enough money to finish the project. I did not want to see a project go broke on me or disappear on me in the middle of the project. And thankfully, that didn't happen because of this tool. This particular tool had saved my bacon many times. So the dashboard is easy, no problem. Your company's information. We then have subcontractors, and then again, you can create the subcontractors right from here. You can add a subcontractor from here, and all the details are available. More details are available in the component or the tool recording. What you can see in here, the subcontractor's quarter price, the completion, the overall completion of the project as assessed on site by your supervisor, the amount that is payable based on that assessment, the total of the change order, any change orders that are added to the contract, the amount of payment you received, the amount of overbilling, the amount of underbilling. This is just a summary of the whole of all of these subtrades. So if I go to a subcontractor, I can create a new subcontractor or existing subcontractor. So you can add more subcontractors in here, or you can just select the subcontractors that you've already created. All right, let's go back. One of the things that is great about this tool is that your subcontractors in here can be imported from your estimating. So if you've estimated a project and you've got a subcontractors already selected with the pricing, once you go into this component, this tool, you can import that particular subcontractor with its price. All that information will be imported right here and be populating. That page will be populated from there, from the estimating. Okay, so if I want to start, I would start here by adding a project. And I would go to an existing project because it comes out from your estimating, or I can create a new project that is not part of my estimating or any estimating that I've done in iZak. If you've done an estimating in iZak, if you've estimated in iZak, it flows right through all the tools. If you did not create an estimate in iZak, then of course you've got to enter it manually. Okay, once you've selected a project, then of course you can add a subtrade to that project. So add a project, existing project, let's take this one, let's say there's a holdback of 10%. All right, you can see the price quoted was 14,000. There's a holdback of 10%. Go back. I'm not going to go through the whole program in detail. I'm just doing it briefly so you can understand what's happening in here. Okay, so I add a project. This is the project. I can add Tony's Concrete. And then I can add all the information, when he's starting the project, when he's finishing the project, how much he's quoted. And my supervisor on site will then tell me with each invoice, with each progress billing, what percentage is finished on site. Okay, so we're not going to add anything in this at this point and get you confused. All right. And if I go into billing and payment, then of course it opens up that particular project for Smith Home Renovation, and it shows you each subcontractor on the job. If I expand it, then of course it shows you how much was invoiced, what was the previous billing, and of course in this case there was no billing yet. But it will do the calculation for you, showing you whether it's overbilling or underbilling. So once you've selected a project, you can add a subject to the project by clicking on the button. There's the name of the project, the name of the contractor. Select the contractor, and of course it'll add that contractor to the project, and then you can go to billing and payment and submit, and it'll show all the subtrades on the project. You can see them by the names in here: alternative, superb, performance, decent. All of these subtrades on that project. Now there's no information in here yet. If you expand it here, you will see the information of the contract amount and the amount remaining in the contract, because nothing has been invoiced and nothing has been paid yet. The rest of the details on this are available on the video for subtrade control. Okay, the next area that I want to show you is corporate budget. And why do we call it a corporate budget? Is you can't run a business without creating a yearly budget, an operations budget. Otherwise, it's helter-skelter. But this budgeting tool, not only will it manage your cash flow or control your operations cash, but it's a predictive tool and allows you to set goals, profitability goals, and sales goals as well, in addition to job costing goals and overhead goals. So not only is it reactive, it is very proactive. It is reactive in as much as that you have to enter the information of your expenditures, but it's proactive in as much as it allows you to take action if your expenses are higher than it should be. So let's take a look at this. All right, so simple. We've got office and administration expenses, which is what we usually call as overhead in contractors' language. We have office and administration wages, and all of these go into the overhead expenses, total overhead expenses. We, of course, have what we anticipate in sales, or the goal that we set for sales. We then have the goal that we expect for cost of goods. What do we estimate as cost of goods? And remember, what cost of good is what is not in overhead is cost of goods. What is when you have no project on site, if there's no work out in the field, what remains is overhead. Okay, and then we've got, once you've entered all that information, of course, we've got the operating budget here. And of course, it says in your start here. And the monthly tracking information, that will come in from your bookkeeper. Your bookkeeper is the one that should manage the input in the budget once the two of you have created it, or you have created it. And all that information should be input on a monthly basis. We then have it broken down in first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter. And the reason we do this is we should never make decisions based on monthly financial statements, because 90% of the time they will be inaccurate. All decisions should be made on quarterly statements, not monthly. And of course, it gives you the overhead and profit markups, and we'll go there in a minute, and full year results. So let's take a look at it. So the first thing we do is enter the name of your company, enter the fiscal year ending, and enter all the information for that year, all that information that you see in here. Now, your chart of account and accounting should be like this, should not be any more than this. If you have any more, for example, advertising and promotion, you may have more information, then make sure it's subcategories in your chart of account, not categories. And let's say, for example, insurance. Well, insurance can break into vehicle insurance, liability insurance, and any other insurance. So all of that information should be broken down into subcategories. What should be entered in here is strictly categories. And once you've entered that information, of course, you are now creating the budget for the upcoming year. Then you want to enter the changes in here and build it from there. But again, all that information is available to you in the videos. All right, we've got the wages. You're going to create your wages in here. And again, you want to be very careful and go through the detailed information that you see in here, because, for example, in the case of an owner, there is no EI and no CPP. So, pardon me, no EI. There is CPP, but no EI. But again, if the owner is over 65 years old, there's no CPP, then that needs to be altered, and you can make the change in here. Again, you'll need to go through the questions and instructions. Okay, you want to build everybody as part of the overhead in here, not field people, not field crew, strictly overhead. Once you've done this, of course, we want to start the budget from here. So it takes you back to where I took you. Once we created this, then of course you've got the monthly tracking. You can go get the monthly tracking from here, or you can go to monthly tracking from here. And that information is input by your bookkeeper. Once you've created your budget, you will see your monthly budget here, right here. And your bookkeeper will enter the information in here. You will see the results against the budget, and you'll also see the full year numbers to date. Now, what you'll see once you've entered the first quarter, for example, you will see a variance. What's up, what's down, what's above, what's below your budget. It allows you to be proactive. All right. Once done that, you can see in here, it'll give you the markup you should be based on what you've got in here, based on your sales, based on your cost of goods, based on your overhead. It will give you the markup you should be using for estimating for overhead. And remember that in estimating, you should always split overhead and profit, and in iZak, it does. It also gives you the markup for profit. Let's see. So we go for markup of profit, and again, you want to enter the right. It gives you a suggestion of what number you want to put in as a markup on your costs when you're estimating. And again, that's a calculation that's based on your anticipated profits and anticipated cost of goods and sales. And you can see the full year results at the end, your budget, your actuals, and the variances. Now, the actuals that you have entered in here will form the new numbers for the upcoming years. You can either get them from here or you can get them from your financial statement. But if you entered the monthly tracking accurately, then these are the numbers that you want to transfer to into this column here, which is the actual budget you're creating. And then, as I said before, you then anticipate the changes that you will have for the upcoming year. Okay, that's it for budget. Okay, so the next area I want to show you is the cash flow projections or cash flow management. So let's go to cash flow. Now, they may look intricate. It may look daunting. It may even look scary. It isn't really. Once your bookkeeper, not you, once your bookkeeper follows the instructions, the videos, it's a step by step by step video. It is easy to follow. It is simple to follow, but it is paramount that you use it. And there's a reason for that is that if you don't have, if your cash flow is on the low side, of course, you want to know who is Peter and who is Paul. You don't know, you want to know who you're going to withhold money from and who you're going to pay to. You also want to restructure any long-term debt. And if you're sitting on money in the company, you've got surplus cash, you want to know how much you can invest, how much you can take out of the company, how much you should leave behind. So the tool is an excellent tool. It is mandatory for a business. It is a necessity. It's like you brushing your teeth every morning. You need cash flow management for your business. Just like you're doing your bookkeeping, this is part of your bookkeeping, and your bookkeeper should maintain this on a regular basis so you can review it on a weekly basis and see what is your cash position. So let's start here. Again, this may look daunting, but it's not. Once you've entered the information, the budgets, the projections, the actuals are entered by your bookkeeper. Your projections, the actual entered by your bookkeeper. Projection and actual entered by your bookkeeper. It's not that difficult. Okay. So again, cash flow takes into calculations everything that you're doing, your sales, your accounts receivables, all that feeds into cash flow projection. Your cost of goods that you have sold, the overhead that you have as an expense, upcoming expense. If you're a service company and you carry inventory, of course that information has to be input in here. Of course, not the detailed inventory, just the summary amounts. All that information goes in here, including with all current payments, accounts payable, credit cards, other payable, GST. All of the information is fed into cash flow management. From here, you are able to see how much you should be able to pay your suppliers, and you separate and spread your payments as needed. Now, if you are sitting on money, or if you have a loan, then of course it falls into this category. So we've got financing and the loan proceeds, any loan payments. So this is the amount of the loan that you put in, that you would owe, how much you would be paying, and how is it spread out. And if you've got any money to invest, you're sitting on surplus. Again, investing is here. The amount of the money you're sitting on, the amount you're sitting on, and then what assets you're purchasing, like investments. I'm not talking about toys. I'm talking about investing in actual income properties, or even moving the profits from your operating company to a holding company. You always want to leave as little as possible in cash within your company to make sure that it is not vulnerable. So that's it for cash flow projection. Okay, the next two tools are tools that you won't find anywhere else. Again, just like bidding strategies. These are tools that I've developed over the years as contractor. These are tools that I've developed as well. Work in progress, for example, is a calculation that you need to do on a monthly basis, or your bookkeeper needs to do on a monthly basis, because if you don't, you end up paying taxes you shouldn't be paying. And most accountants don't know how to do a proper work in progress calculation. And if they don't, and they don't make that adjustment on your financial statement, you'll end up paying too much taxes, whether it's VAT or GST or whatever you want to call it. These are taxes or income tax. These are taxes you shouldn't be paying. Once you do the calculation in work in progress, you pay taxes on money you earned, not on money you didn't earn. Projective job costing is one of the most fascinating tools. I call it fascinating because I've had many people in the industry try to get me to sell it to them separately, and I wouldn't. It's a tool that I use as a contractor that allow me to be proactive, to control my productivity in the field. And again, I won't go into details, but I'm going to explain it to you briefly. If you want to know more details, you will need to get into the program itself and look at the videos that are for these areas. So let's just take a look at work in progress. So work in progress, what we call WIP, W-I-P, WIP. If your accountant doesn't know how to do it, teach him. You be the smart person. You should be telling your accountant what to do, not the other way around. Remember, you're the one that pays his bills, but at the end of the day, he doesn't answer to you. He answers to the government and the taxing department, or whatever you want to call it. In Canada, it's CRA. In the United States, it's IRS. So he answers to them. You may be paying the bills, but he answers to them. So you need to tell him how to do your bookkeeping or your accounting. Anyways, what we've got in work in progress is the project selection. We've got a summary of the project and a work in progress calculation. Then we've got also quick work in progress for small project, and then work in progress adjustment number. It also gives you a tool to how to do your progress billing. You know, if you want to do the calculation progress billing outside of your accounting, you can do it, man. You can do it here. Give it to your bookkeeper, and the rest is simple. All right. So let's take a look briefly. Let's hope that there is information inside here for us to look at. Project selection. We select project number one. Again, it's easy to follow your project number, the project name, the client name, the contract amount, the estimated costs, and then of course you also enter all your change orders in here, and it'll tell you what your progress billing should be once. Well, you actually enter the information here from job costing. So once you get the job costing information, what the cost to date is for that particular month, you enter it in here and it does the rest. Anyways, this is a really large file to allow you for as many projects that you can that you have, to enter as many projects as you have. Okay, going back, we have a summary of project. All of your projects will show up in here. And if you're overbilled or underbilled, they'll do the calculation in here, and it'll show you what adjustment should be done in bookkeeping in here. So if you're overbilled on a project, as a total, it will give you a number to adjust downwards in your bookkeeping in the sales, so you don't end up paying tax on the overbilling. We don't want to pay tax on money we are not owed. Remember, anything you overbilled, it's not your money, it's still your client's money. Theoretically, possession is 9/10 of the law. I know, I understand that, but it is still theoretically and legally your client's money, like a deposit. Well, we don't pay tax on deposits, and hence we shouldn't be paying tax on overbilling. If you're underbilled, it'll also it gives you a number here to increase your sales, so you now have the accurate number in your financial statement. Now there's a small version in here for small projects. What we did in here is usually major projects that are longer than 1 month. Okay, if I go in here, these are for projects that are under a month. So it's very simple. Again, you follow the video and the instructions, but these are for small projects. It'll do exactly the same thing, but without gathering information for month over month. And this will give you that same number that we looked at before, the up or down adjustment number for your accounting. Now, progress billing allows you to create your progress billing inside here. This number doesn't go anywhere in your WIP, but it allows you to do the calculation, the progress billing here, quickly print it, turn it over to your bookkeeper. Your bookkeeper will then enter it into accounting and submit the invoice to your client. That's it. Okay, we're projective job costing. And the last component I want to show you. So you have two choices in here. You can stay with projective job costing that will be based on estimates you've done, or if based on estimates that you haven't done and you want to create your own, or you haven't done the estimate in iZak and you want to create a projective job costing, you go into standalone, not tied to iZak. So because there's no major project created in iZak, in the sample iZak, let's create one here quickly so I can show you how that works. So I got the dashboard. I'm going to the dashboard, and the first thing I want to do is enter the information in the project and the name of the project, okay? And so let's enter a name. Let's give it a project number 0122. The start date would be, say, January 2021. So institutional. And let's say the end date was December 2021. So it's now creating the project. Take a little longer than usual because it's not an existing project. Okay, so we've done. Okay, so we can edit this. 8 hours for startup. Let's say for supervision on the full project. Now all this information came out of iZak, and the coding that you see in here, it's either your own coding system, or iZak will create the coding system for you. iZak, the estimating section or the estimating tool, will create these codes for you. Now, so I'm creating just fictitious project in here, which calls a medical center, and we've got supervision. Let's say we have allowed, so we've got, say, 1,280 hours. I'm not going to go with them. I'm just going to do a couple of them. Let's say fabrication was 150 hours, and the boiler room work was, say, 720 hours. Now, the information we got from the field, this is 100% complete. Okay, the information we got on this, we are, say 15% complete. Fabrication is, let's say, 10% complete. No, let's go higher, 20%. Fabrication, let's say it's only 10%. Okay, now let's go to, yeah, we want to save it. Let's go to the input of timesheets. Now the startup, 100%. Supervision, yeah, that's pretty close. Let's say 15%. And the boiler room, our site supervisor says it's 10% complete. Okay, let's submit that. And now we go to the job costing and let's take a look at it. So what we've got, the hours used timesheet, that was a mistake. You can go back to change it, but what I can do is change that to minus 92 because I made a mistake. So actually, it's good that it happened, and you can see how we can change that. Okay. And you can see it is now bang on. Now, supervision, we allowed 1,280 hours. We use 15 hours, and we are saying 15% complete. If we continue as we are, we're going to make $44,000 supervision. If we continue as we are. Okay. In fabrication, we allowed 150 hours. 20 hours were used. 20% is complete. It looks like we're going to be $1,900 under our estimate. But in the boiler room, let's say that we are only 2% complete. What happens? See, that changes. I'm going to go back to, let's go back to boiler room and make a drastic change in here and see what happens. So the timesheet, first the timesheet. So the boiler room, let's say we spent 75 hours more than we allowed for, or more than we put in previous timesheet. Okay, and we are 8% complete. Now you can see what happened in here. We're going to be over by $13,000 if we continue as you are. Okay, so you can see that when we enter the numbers, when I alter the numbers of hours used and the completed percentage, we're going to be in a hole of $13,000. But what it does for me is it allows me to be proactive. So I can find out on site what I can do to change this. It allows me to change the crew. It allows me to augment the crew. It allows me to find out what the problem with the crew is. What's happening on site? Why is it costing us Why is it costing us so much money? At the end of a job, we're going to lose $13,000 on this particular task. So what we want to do is make sure that we can change the productivity by changing the manpower. So you can't speed up men. You can't tell the guys work faster. That doesn't work. But what we can change is maybe the configuration of the team on site. We can change the tools they're using. We can change the scaffolding and go to maybe scissor lift. I mean, there are many things we can do to change so we can be more proactive, so we can mitigate that and change that. We can change the outcome. And this is what the important part of this tool is, that allows you to change the outcome. Okay, now, the best part is, if you did that, it will transfer all the codes in here, and then it will show you what was allowed, and it breaks it down between medical billing and it breaks it down with the category that you're working on, institutional, commercial. And what it allows you is to adjust your estimating based on this column in here. Now this builds up as needed. It will build up as needed. As many codes as you have, this is how big that sheet will be. But what it allows you is to be more accurate in your estimating based on your actual productivity, your manpower productivity, not some fictional numbers and not numbers that come out of the estimating program, but numbers coming out of the estimating program adjusted based on your crew's productivity. That's the beautiful part of this tool. You will find this tool probably one of the most useful tools you'll ever see, because it will allow you to make sure it will enhance your profitability, enhance your productivity, and make iZak a worthwhile effort. Now, having said that, this is the end of the demonstration. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you as one of our clients. I encourage you to sign up. iZak has a 30-day guarantee. If you don't like it, you can cancel it at any time. And that's it. Goodbye, and good luck with your next project.